Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome this morning to the class of Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 4, texts 2 to text 6. And we are fortunate to have His Grace Vishnugada Prabhu from ISKCON, Philadelphia, going to preach to us this morning. Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
So can we chant the Parama Karuna prayer?
Yeah.
Maybe devotees know it already. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Do you know what we're doing?
I have to open another thing and find it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless there's another song that you prefer.
No, I'm doing Paramakarana.
Gauranga Polite Habe, Udilo Aruna, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karamore.
There's a whole lot of them, so.
Yeah.
KK songs.
KK songs. I didn't know.
No, somewhere you see the search. Just do Parama Karuna and put KK songs will come up.
Yeah.
There you go. So click that. And then you just, yep.
That's it.
Yep. That's it.
Parama Karuna Pahu Dvijana Nitai Gaurachandra
Paramakaruna Pahudijana Nitai Gurachandra.
Why? So I encourage anybody who wants to, or everybody, to unmute. We have a kirtan back and forth. Parama Karuna Pahu Dvijana Nitai Gaurachandra
Paramakaruna Pahudijana Nitai Gurachandra.
Kab Avatar Shad Shiramani Kebala Ananda Kanda
Shava Avatar Shashiromani Kevala Ananda Kanda.
Bhaja Bhaja Bhai Chaitanya Nitai Sudridha Vishwasha Kari
Bhaja Bhaja Bhai Chaitanya Nitai Sudrita Vishwa Sakori
Vishaya Chadiya Se Rase Majia Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari
Vishaya Chadiya Se Rase Majia Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari.
Dekha Ore Bhai Vibhuvane Nai Emono Doyalo Data Dekha Ore Bhai Vibhuvane Nai Emono Doyalo Data Pashu Paki Jure Pashana Vidare Shuni Jar Gata
Pashu Paki Jure
Pashana Vidare Shuni Jar Gata Hansare Mojia Rohili Podia Shepodi Nohilo Asha
Samsare Majia Rohili Poria
Shepode
Nohilo
Asha
Asha
Apana Koroma Bhunjaye Shamana Kohoye Lochandasa
Apana karama Unjai
Kunjai
Shamana
Shamana Kohoye
Kahoye
Lochan Dasa
Luchandasa
Parama Karuna Bahu Dvijana Nitai Gaurachandra Parama
Paramakara
Karuna Bahu Dvijana
Bahudvijana Nitai
Nitai
Gaura
Gaurachandra
Chandra
Parama Karuna Bahu Dvijana Nitai Gaurachandra
Paramakara
Karuna Bahu Dvijana
Bahudvijana Nitai
Nitai
Gaura
Gaurachandra Kab
Chandra
Avatar Shar Shiramani Kevala Ananda Kanda
Shava Avatar
Shar
Shashiromani
Shiramani Kevala
Eva
Ananda
Ananda
Kanda
Kanda
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paribrajaka. Let's go back because we're going to read the translation if we don't mind.
Sure.
Paribrajak Acharya Ashtotara Satashi Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Shami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Okay.
Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai.
Okay.
ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Yay.
Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai.
Yay.
Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaur Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai.
Yay.
Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai.
Yay.
Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai.
Yay.
Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai.
Yay.
Ganga Mai Ki Jai.
Yay.
Jamuna Mai Ki Jai.
Yay.
Tulsi Devi Ki Jai.
Yay.
Bhakti Devi Ki Jai.
Yay.
Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai.
Yay.
Gaur Prem Anande.
Hari 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 Bo.
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glory to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Hari Hari Bol. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Shami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirbishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Reshatarine. Dear Krishna Prabhu, can you read this translation, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisance.
Yes.
All the four.
Yeah, the whole thing.
The two lords, Nitai Gaurachandra, are very merciful. They are the essence of all incarnations. The specific significance of these incarnations is that they introduced a process of chanting and dancing that is simply joyful. My dear brother, I request that you just worship Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda with firm conviction and faith. If one wants to be Krishna conscious by this process, one has to give up his engagement in sense gratification. One simply has to chant Hare Krishna, Hari Hari without any motive. My dear brother, just try and examine this. Within the three worlds, there is no one like Lord Chaitanya or Lord Nityananda. Their merciful qualities are so great that upon hearing them, even birds and beasts cry and stones melt. But Lochandas regrets that I am entrapped by sense gratification. Since I have no attraction for the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, then Yamaraj, the superintendent of death, is punishing me by not allowing me to be attracted by this movement.
Thank you so much. So, Parama Karuna, everybody knows Karuna is mercy. Parama, topmost, the topmost mercy. Pahu, Pahu, what is that word, Pahu? Pahu. You know the word Pahu? This is Bengali language. Come on, who knows? Pahu is means it's really Prabhu, but it's it's kind of a contraction for Prabhu. Well, this so Prabhu, these Dvijan, these two Prabhus, Dvijan, two people. Who's that? Nitai Gaura Chandra, Lord Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya. Sub of avatar of all avatars, Shad, cream, Shiramani. You know what a Shiramani is? What is a Shiramani, dear Krishna Prabhu?
The jewel crest.
Yeah, the crown jewel.
Wonderful.
You get the crown jewels. It's like in the CIA, they have the crown jewels of intelligence. That's what they call it, even though they're not jewels really. The topmost things. They're the topmost of all the avatars. Why? Kevala Ananda Kanda. They're distributing something that's Kevala, entirely blissfully done. Bhaja Bhaja Bhai, worship with devotion. Chaitanya, all brothers and sisters also. Chaitanya Nitai, Sudrita, with great determination and faith. Bishaya means sense gratification. Chadiya, giving it up. Say Majia. You know that word Majia? Majia? What is that word Majia? It's a nice word. Nobody knows. It's also in the last stanza as well. You see Majia there? Sangsare Majia. Here it's say Rase Majia. This rase, this taste means absorbed in the taste of devotion to Nitai Gaurachandra. Say Rase Majia. Bhaja Bhaja Bhai. So get absorbed in the taste, rasa, of be absorbed in it. Majia is absorbed in that. And mukke, how do you do that? Mukke bolo hari hari. And with your mouth, chant hari hari. Dekha, ore bhai. Just see, dekha. Or in Spanish, anybody knows Spanish, they say, mira, look at that, mira. Just see, oh, brothers, in the three worlds, there's nobody as merciful, Dayala, who's giving so much mercy, Pashu is animal, Paki is bird, Jure, they're crying, it could also be chanting. Pashana, the unmovable things, Virare, they're melting. Shuni Jar Guna Gata, just by hearing their transcendental qualities. So here we have the same name, the same word, Sangsare Majia. What does that mean? Sangsare Majia. Dear Krishna Prabhu.
Absorbed in the sense gratification of this material world.
Yeah, Sansara is this material world, yeah, observed in this, in the idea of I'll never make your lotus feet. Yeah, not getting your lotus. Apara Korama Bunjay Shaman Koho Yele Charadas. Yeah, because actually our attraction for Krishna consciousness is stopped by our sinful reactions. We're not able to appreciate our offenses as well. So Lochan Das is singing this way. Prabhupada used to sing this before speaking on Chaitanya Charitamrita. Thank you, dear Krishna Prabhu and everybody. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Sometimes people chant other things before the Chaitanya Charitamrita reading because it's not exactly Srimad Bhagavatam. So, but I check mostly Srila Prabhupada would chant or the devotees would chant during his time, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I used to chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai like Nityananda, but then I thought, well, what does they do during Srila Prabhupada's time? I didn't remember. So I checked, and mostly, every instance I found, they just chanted Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So how is that? This Chaitanya Charitamrita must be none different than Srimad Bhagavatam. It's the activities of the devotees in the Lord. None different. This is just another chapter. Anyway, so we're reading as Parikit Prabhu said, Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 4:2. Do you know, anybody know what the title of this chapter is? Without looking? I know you can look. No? Come on.
For the internal reasons for
Yes. Very good.
yeah.
The internal reasons for the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaur Bhakta Brinda. Everybody can chant that. Come on, everybody. Unmute, please. Please, everybody unmute and start. We'll say it together. Can you please unmute? Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Thank you. Thank you for those especially who unmute. Translation. All glory to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glory to Lord Nityananda. All glory to Sri Advaita Acharya, and all glory to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Next. X3, I think it is. Yeah.
Oh.
Chaturta Shlokir Artha Koila Vivarana Panchama Shlokir Artha Shuna Bhaktagana. I have described the meaning of the fourth verse. Now, O devotees, kindly hear the explanation of the fifth verse. Mula Shlokir Artha Karite Prakash Artha Lagaite Age Kahiya Abhash. Just to explain the original verse, I shall first suggest its meaning. Chaturta Shlokir Artha E Kailashar Premanam Pracharite E Avatar. I have given the essential meaning of the fourth verse. This incarnation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descends to propagate the chanting of the holy name and spread love of God. Satya ek hetu kintu eho bahiranga ar ek hetu shuna ache antaranga. Although this is true, this is but the external reason for the Lord's incarnation. Please hear one other reason, the confidential reason for the Lord's appearance. In the third chapter, fourth verse, it has been clearly said that Lord Chaitanya appeared in order to distribute love of Krishna and the chanting of his transcendental holy name, Hare Krishna. That was the secondary purpose of Lord Chaitanya's appearance. The real reason is different, as we shall see in this chapter. Oh, so are we going to do one more verse or no? I forgot.
That's it.
The next verse. I thought that's it. Okay.
Unless you want to, but
let's see what the next verse is. Let's see what the next verse. No. So the verse 1 was what? Let's go back to verse 1 then.
You mean okay?
Yeah.
All the way up to 4:2 then?
4:1.
Okay.
Oh no, it's not there. Okay. At some point in this verse, yeah. So Om Gyanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Shayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Shapandantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Before speaking, I'd like to get permission and blessings from all devotees, particularly those who are senior by age, and advancement in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
So at the end of the Adi Lila, in the chapter Lord Chaitanya's pastimes in his youth, chapter 17, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami does a summary, reviews all the chapters that he's introduced by that point. So he summarizes in the first 5 chapters or 6 chapters he goes over, and the purpose of those chapters he cites. So we can also review those chapters just to keep us in a memory of this Chaitanya Charitamrita reading, study. So the first chapter, which is begins with the verse Vande Gurun Isha Bhaktan Isha Ishavatarakam Tat Prakasham Tatak. You know this one? And he says that's the invocation for the work to create auspiciousness, because the beginning of auspiciousness is to accept the shelter and the direction and guidance and chastisement of the spiritual master. So that's chapter 1. Then in chapter 2, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he focuses on the point that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with Shastric references and support. In chapter 3, what is there in chapter 3? You know?
The external reasons for the Lord's.
Yes, the external reasons for the Lord's appearance. And the verse is there. You know, a very famous verse. Anarpita charim chirat karunayavatirna kalau samarpayitam munuto jvalarasam swabhakti shriyam hari purata sundara dyuti kadamba sandipita sada hridaya sparato va satchinandana. He's come to give what nobody else, anarpita, nobody else gave before. What is that? The taste of swabhakti shriyam. He's giving away, introducing, and teaching his own devotional service to himself. Swabhakti shriyam. Hari Purata Sundara. And he's got this golden form. So may that form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu be always situated in the core of the heart. There's a blessing like that. So that's chapter 3. And also in chapter 3, the introduction to the glories of chanting the holy name, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is introduced there. And here in chapter 4, the internal reasons are given for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. And as we read in the purport, Srila Prabhupada called those, I don't know if you caught it, what he said about those reasons. He had a certain adjective about those reasons. Did you catch it? He called it the real reasons for Lord Chaitanya's. Yeah. And those other reasons, external reasons, were secondary. This is very interesting, because usually, not only are we person-centered, we're nation-centered and earth-centered, but actually the real business is going on in the spiritual world, and especially there, it's in Goloka Vrindavan between Radha and Krishna, and all these other things are secondary to that. So the real reason Lord Chaitanya appeared is going to be elaborated in this chapter 4. And there's the verse that is each of the chapters have it's mentioned here in this one of those verses, the mula shloka. Mula shloka means mula means what? A root. It's a root shloka, and from that root, just like from a root, the plant will come and flowers come and leaves, everything. So the root shloka is there in this particular chapter. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Hladini Shakti Rasma. That Radha Krishna are eternal truths, and they're eternally individually separated, but they became one as Lord Chaitanya, just to be able to taste that transcendental mellow of conjugal love in great ecstasy. And so that's the mula shloka in the chapter 4 that is going to be described by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So I looked in the Veda base and the Prabhupada Vani to see what Srila Prabhupada had ever spoken on that verse, given a class on that verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Hladini Shakti Rasman. And what I found was, yes, he gave one class on that verse. And that class he gave in 1975 in Mayapur, during the Mayapur festival. And I happened to be there at that time, which I didn't remember at that time, but that he had given that specific class. But that was quite interesting and shocking to me that I was there at that class that Srila Prabhupada gave in 1975. And that was just after the first parts of the Chaitanya Charitamrita had been released. When the Chaitanya Charitamrita was produced, the first publishing of the Chaitanya Charitamrita was a book called Lord Chaitanya in 5 Features. It was just an excerpt from Adi Lila. It's actually the 7th chapter, which includes the discussion of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with the Mayavadi sannyasis of Benares. But before that, there's a description about how Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement spread all over the world, inundating all the false logicians, philosophers, and Mayavadis in his transcendental ocean of love of God. So that had already been published. And then there was just about to be published the rest of the volumes of Chaitanya Charitamrita when Srila Prabhupada gave this class in Mayapur. So Srila Prabhupada's first point in discussing this important verse, important chapter of the Chaitanya Charitamrita was that he made the point that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the same Supreme Bhagavan, Sad Aishwarya Purna. Sad Aishwarya means all opulence, all the 6 opulence. 6 opulences, full in 6 opulences. And he said, there are many people who present themselves as Bhagavan, but without any opulence. They claim they're Bhagavan. There's so many people who'll put their Bhagavan Dada or Bhagavan this one, Bhagavan that one. But where is their opulence? We don't see. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he presented himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although his opulences to a certain extent were covered, but sometimes he did reveal them, especially to his close devotees, such as Swarup Damodar Goswami, Ramananda Roy, and Rupa Goswami. So he being Krishna himself, he exhibited these Sad Ashvarya Purna, the six opulences. What are those six opulences? Aishvaryasya Samagrasya. How does it go? Viryasya Yashasha Shriya Jnana Vairagyaschapi. Aishvaryasya. Wealth. Samagrasya. Full. Aishvaryasya. Viryasya. Viryasya means strength. Samagrasya. Yashasha. Yasha is fame. Shriya, beauty. Jnana, knowledge. Vairagya, yes. And renunciation, yes. Is that all six? Did we catch all six? I think so. Yeah, that's the and so he being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then Srila Prabhupada reminded us that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is understood in three phases. Impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and Bhagavan. And of the three phases of realization of the Absolute Truth, Bhagavan is the topmost. And how can one understand and appreciate, come to the awareness of Bhagavan? It is by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who distributes the understanding of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because no one can understand God by mental speculation. He is not approachable by the machinations of the mind. One of Lord Krishna's names is Adhokshaja. You know that word, Adhokshaja. Aksha means eyes, and Ja means born from the eyes. So this is just an example of the eyes are this being used as a representative of all the different senses. You're not going to be able to approach God with our material eyes. Is beyond that. Is beyond being transcendental. He's beyond the reach of the materially contaminated senses. So how can we understand God? The thing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was specially pushing, encouraging, is that one has to engage in devotional service in order to understand God. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. Although Lord Krishna isn't understood by the gross senses, for those who engage in his transcendental service, he reveals himself from within their hearts. He gives them the understanding. Those who are satata yuktanam, always engaged in his service. And what is that service? Atas Shri Krishna Namadi na bhave grayamindriye sevam bheti siva jivado swayam eva spuratyada. Nice verse from the Padma Purana. And that verse describes that the Lord and his name, qualities, pastimes, etc., can't be understood by materially contaminated or blunt senses, but he reveals himself to those who engage in his service. And what service is that?
Devotion service.
Yeah.
Loving devotion service.
and any particular kind. Jiva adao. Jiva means tongue, and adao means beginning with the tongue. Jiva adao, swayam eva spuratyada. So the understanding God begins with the tongue, not with the hands, not with the feet, but the tongue, because the tongue will chant, hopefully will try to chant Hare Krishna, and also take Krishna Prasadam. So Srila Prabhupada is making these points. This devotional service being the topmost kind of understanding in spiritual life. And devotional service is experienced, or the rasa, or the taste of devotional service is experienced or promulgated in 5 ways. Some devotees, they are satisfied by engaging in appreciating the greatness of God, Shantaras. Some devotees, they are fully satisfied by being engaged in the menial service of God, of Krishna, Dasyaras. Others, by developing friendship with the Lord. Others, by serving God as his mother or father, serving Lord Krishna as his mother or father, or being an associate, a helper of being mother or father. And there are those who have reached the platform of being a lover of God. These are the 5 transcendental rasas there. And although all the rasas are on the same transcendental plane, great authorities say that the sweetest one is the rasa of transcendental love in Madhurya Ras, which is the relationship of Krishna and Srimati Radharani and the gopis. So this is very elevated top subject matter. And then Srila Prabhupada mentions that unfortunately, people, after Lord Krishna's appearance, people misunderstood Lord Krishna and tried to bring him down to their platform and tried to understand him with their materially contaminated mind and senses to make him an ordinary man. Avajaniti ma mudha manusim tanamashrita. Lord Krishna even says that, he points it out in the Bhagavad Gita, that those who are less intelligent, or mudha, they think he's an ordinary person, who's an ordinary man, who's assumed that form, parambhava majananto, but they don't understand his transcendental nature and supreme dominion over all that be. So what's the result of conceiving of Krishna as an ordinary man? Well, then you have to think that his relationship with Radharani and the gopis was on the material platform, isn't it? And so then,
yeah, and it would be offensive too.
so then, they think, oh, they'll like to imitate Krishna. And so many people, spiritual teachers, so-called spiritual teachers from India, you look at their lives, and at a certain point, so they may outwardly declare themselves God, or secretly declare themselves God to their followers. And then they engage in activities like trying to imitate Krishna and the gopis. They have their gopis, and they have some kind of illicit relationship with them. This is all due to the misunderstanding of Lord Krishna's relationship with the gopis. So Lord Chaitanya, he particularly came to taste that loving experience, and as we learned in this last chapter, to teach the difference between that kind of love and the love we experience in the material world between paramours, two different things. One is transcendental and one is mundane. One is gold and one is like iron. So especially the Sahajiya class, they mistake Radha Krishna and Krishna's relationships with the gopis as being on the material platform. And then you can go, it's very pervasive in even in Indian literature. Even I went to a ISKCON temple, and on Janmashtami they had a dance. Some dance performers came, and as they introduced the dance, they were doing it with some kind of facsimile of Radha and Krishna and gopis. They were saying, oh, yes, like Krishna and Radha, just like an ordinary boy and girl, they're having fun that's what they introduced so people don't know how to conceive of this relationship between Krishna, Radha, and Krishna and the gopis, because they have no knowledge of what's transcendental and what's material. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was so strict that he didn't even joke with others' wives. But he's saying that, and he was a strict sannyasi. One time he became attracted to hear some singing in the temple, and then somebody said, "Oh, this is he was running forward, and that was a lady singing, and he was going to embrace the lady." So they told him stop at the last minute. So he was stopped, and he thanked them so much, because that would have been finished his spiritual life. At least they was saying like that. So Lord Chaitanya was such a strict sannyasi. He sent away his associate Chota Haridas, Junior Haridas, because he had some very brief, inappropriate interaction with a woman. So that same Lord Chaitanya is saying that the relationship between Krishna and the gopis love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that's the topmost. How is that? That means that those relationships, Krishna and the gopis, Krishna and Srimati Radharani, they're not material. They're not on the material platform. They're all transcendental. Fladini Shakti Rasmad means they're his eternal internal potency. Krishna has many different potencies. Parasya Shakti Rividai Vishuyate. This material world is one small part of his potency. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna, when he's encouraged by Arjuna wanted to say, can you tell me about your opulences? This in the 10th chapter. And then Lord Krishna goes on for many shlokas about describing how in this world he's of wielder of weapons, he is Ram, etc. And then at the end of that long list of verses, he said, what's the use of all these things? Because actually all this whole material world, ekangsena stito jagat, it's only 1/4. It's not even a major portion of my energies. Most of his energies are in the spiritual world. This is just kind of like an afterthought, 1/4. And what is that 1/4? 1/4 is, Mahavishnu lies down on the causal ocean, and from his breathing, all these universes, millions of universes are created, and this is just one of those universes. This is the nature of God. You just conceive of that. 1/4 of his energy, millions of universes are coming from the mouth of and the breathing of Mahavishnu. That's 1/4. That's the nature of God. So his energies are amazing and wonderful, and 3/4 are going on in the spiritual world. But because we are so used to, and misunderstand everything from a material point of view, we mistake Krishna's activities with the gopis as being mundane, material boyfriend and girlfriend. So Srila Prabhupada then mentioned about how, in the material world, things that are very, in the spiritual world, I should say, the spiritual world, the highest things in the spiritual world become the lowest in the material world. There's the example he gives of the tree. In the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna gives the example, Urdhva Moolam Adashaka. You know this one? Urdhva Moolam Adashaka. So there's a tree, and then the material world is compared to a tree, but this tree is a little different than an ordinary tree, because this tree, the branches and the crown of the tree are down, and the root is up. And where do you see a tree like that? Do you ever see a tree with the branches down and the roots up?
Only the reflection of it.
You do? Where do you see that?
Like if you're on the side of a body of water and there's a tree close to the bank, then you can see the reflection in it.
Is that right? Is that right? So if the tree is close to the bank, you look in the river in the reflection, and don't you see if you look at the reflection, isn't the root down also in the reflection?
No, it should be the other way.
Yeah, I had to struggle with this. I struggled with this example for a little while back when, early days. I mean, not so recently, but then it occurred to me, yeah, if you're on the same side of the body of water as the tree, if you're on the same side, the reflection will look, it won't look that. But if the tree reflection is on the other side, then the tree, you see the tree is on the other side of the body of water, the roots are up. Isn't it? Isn't it? If you're on your side, the roots are, isn't it? Isn't it? You'll see.
The river acts like a mirror.
Yes, yes. And towards you, when you're looking at the reflection, the reflection will be, the roots will be, because the roots will be by your feet, right? The reflection, and this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And that's upside down.
Yeah, upside down.
And that's upside down.
No, it's not upside down if it's on the same side as you. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? The roots.
Yeah.
The roots will be the same side. The roots will be where your feet are, so it's. I mean, but it's really upside down when the trees on the opposite side of the river, or opposite side of the lake, because then you see isn't it? Isn't it?
I have to think more about that.
Yeah, think about it. Think about it. Think about it. I had to struggle with this one a little bit. The roots down and the roots down. Okay. I mean, you could say the roots are. I mean, the roots are up. The roots are up, and the tree and the leaves are urdhva moolam. The roots are up. The roots aren't up in the reflection if you're on the same side as the root of the tree, isn't it right? The roots aren't up.
I don't know. My mind's not accepting, but I just have to ponder about it.
What do you say, dear Krishna Prabhu? Do you get the point? You get to my point?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
The roots are. If you're on the same side as the tree, the roots still are down. But if the tree is on the other side, then the reflection will show that the roots are up. Anyway, so that means that that example in the transcendental world, those things which are the highest things in the material world become the lowest.
Yeah.
So in the spiritual world, the paramour, or the boyfriend-girlfriend relationship between Radha and Krishna, or Krishna and the gopis, is the highest thing. But in the material world, it becomes the lowest thing here. And do you find anything else? Anything else you find like that? Compared in the spiritual world and the material world? And anything else? I was trying to think about this.
That's the one that I know that you've already mentioned, but
Yeah.
um,
What do you think? I think that, I came up with, usually in the spiritual world, what are they doing? Service. The
yes,
gopis are doing that their relationship with Krishna is not because they're getting some lusty gratification for themselves, but they're doing service. So to do service in the spiritual world is the highest, but to be a servant in the material world is like low, right? Isn't it? Yeah. We don't like that. We don't think it's very good in the material sense. So yeah. So no. So Srila Prabhupada was making these points to just reinforce again and again that we should really understand that the relationship between Krishna and the gopis is a transcendental relationship, spiritual relationship, not anything mundane or material. And then he said that that he quoted that verse, Nayam deho bhajam riloke, kashtam kaman arhati vid bhujange, tapo divyam putrakarena satvam shudyat brahma sokyam manantam. That's the teaching of Lord Rishabdev to his sons, that they should not be interested in material happiness like the vid bhujang. Vid bhujang means like the pigs. But they should really go after Brahma Sokham Anantam, spiritual happiness, which is unlimited. There is unlimited spiritual happiness. It's a fact. Radha Krishna Pranayaka Hladani Shakti Rasmat, it's a fact. But but in order to relish that, one has to give up some restrict material happiness and engage in devotional service. So that there's three kinds of happiness: material happiness, the happiness of Brahman realization, and the happiness in devotional service and love of God. And of those, the happiness of Brahman realization or material happiness is just like a drop compared to an ocean of happiness that's derived from engaging in the pure transcendental service of Krishna. So if the acharyas and the Lord Chaitanya and his associates are all encouraging people to come to the level of transcendental appreciation for devotional service, culminating in appreciating the transcendental relationship between Radha and Krishna. That means, and to give up all kinds of material involvements, that means that Radha Krishna experience, transcendental relationship, is not on the mundane plane. It's completely spiritual. So that is a big, important point to really appreciate. And in the 1800s, when there were the first Orientalists who began to study the Vedic literature, this was a point that they had a really difficult time understanding. And so in their trying to understand this point, they decried Lord Krishna. How can Lord Krishna be an example for the epitome of spiritual life if he's running around with others' wives? So they came up with the idea that there was more than one Krishna. There was Krishna on the battle of Kurukshetra. Oh, we'll accept that Krishna. But Krishna, in the Vrindavan, in the Paradic Krishna with his cowherd boys and girlfriends, no, that's a false Krishna. That's not the real Krishna. So they began speaking like this. Misunderstanding. So Lord Chaitanya, though, is Radha Krishna combined. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahayanya. Lord Chaitanya and is Radha Krishna combined, just to experience and promulgate, but also to personally taste primarily this relationship between Radha and Krishna. And just like it said that You get, what is that expression? 2 for the price of 1. You get 2 for the price of 1 on a sale. So you get, by worshiping Lord Chaitanya, you get 2 for the price of 1. You're worshiping Radha Krishna together by worshiping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. And how do you do that? How do you worship Lord Chaitanya and his associates? Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for such a wonderful, engaging class and points.
You got to look at that word Vamulam, Adashakam.
Yes, yeah. That is the Bhagavad Gita chapter 15 that
Yes.
devotees read in Purushottam Mass also. So dear devotees, you can unmute yourself. This is time to ask any question, any clarification, share your realizations, any comments. And you can also type on the chat if you wish. You can raise your hand.
You know, I especially wanted to cite what Srila Prabhupada said in his class, because this is on a very high level. This Radha Krishna and the gopis relationship. This is beyond me. So, and usually we don't talk about these things, but so I wanted to see how Prabhupada talked about it. So I tried to follow that.
Yeah, Prabhu, when you were mentioning that in 1975, you were in Mayapur and Srila Prabhupada was giving this class on Radha Krishna Pranay Vikriti Alladani Shakti Rasmad. It was very ecstatic, like that, visualizing, you being there, Srila Prabhupada talking about this wonderful verse in the Shridham. And 1975, that's the year I was born. So,
Oh, really?
so I was just like, we were just not even born at that time. Thank you for sharing that. And I love this point, like how you mentioned and explained the real business is going on in Golok Vrindavan. So like we say, Krishna's pastime. So that is the real pastime.
Yes. Yeah.
Whatever is going on,
Yes.
here is we are just doing time pass.
We're thinking it's really important, but the real stuff is really, real important stuff is there. And, so you could take it, oh, well, these are his secondary activities is spreading Krishna consciousness and spreading the holy name and like this. Okay. So it's, that's secondary. No, it's even the secondary project by Krishna. That's really wonderful. It's really wonderful.
Yeah.
So that we shouldn't have any, there's no need to have any unhappiness about that. Whatever Krishna does is really wonderful, even if it's secondary, especially secondary.
Yes, absolutely. Like the couple of verses that comes in Srimad Bhagavatam where he is mentioned as Adbhut Karmana, like you said, whatever he does is Adbhut, wonderful.
Yes.
So I don't see any questions, any chat.
Okay.
So, go ahead, Prabhu. So, okay. So Anusaya Mataji and Prakshit Prabhu had to leave. They are going to the airport because Anusaya Mataji had to leave to go to Houston for the meeting. So they said, please, I should apologize on their behalf to you that they had to leave.
What, is there some kind of president's meeting or something?
Yes. In Houston, there is a meeting.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's 9:05. I don't see any questions, any comments. So I'm sure everybody is in ecstasy of the points that you mentioned in the class. So thank you so much, Prabhu. And we hope you will be coming to our 8-hour Kirtan on October 21st.
Saturday.
Yes.
That's not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
Next Saturday, Prabhu. Yeah.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripasinabhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namaha. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
His Grace Vishnugada Prabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you all devotees. We'll see you tomorrow again at 8 a.m. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.